Hi, welcome. This is Steve with Let'sPlan.com. Wanted to demonstrate what do you do typically when you start a meeting, end a meeting, what's the right process, but then what do you do after? I want to present that to you today. In the beginning, let's start a meeting. Now, you may want to start a meeting just to run a scenario for somebody, independent of meeting with them, put some numbers together just to demonstrate something and maybe just email it to them. Or maybe you had a customer who called you out of the blue and gave you their name and said, I'd like to meet. And you thought, hey, let's meet now. Capture that business at the moment, help that customer in that moment. So long as they have a web browser on their end, they can see what you're doing if you let them into your room. They would just go to letsplan.com, type in their name in the middle of the screen. A box would appear below. They would put in your room name, the room that you're in. You've named your own room name. In my case, it's letsplan.com. If you wondered what your room name was, go to your profile and you'll see it here on the right. It says Let's Plan is my current room name. So I would then go to, let's say, dashboard. I'm going to start a meeting. So you can start one here or you can do it here in the main meeting menu area. So here's my room name. All right. So I'm going to create one for home buyer. You can put in the address, city, state, zip. Notice that they are independent of each other because they're separate fields. Reason being, after you end meetings and at some point in the future, you might decide you want to download all of this information as a CSV file to then move into your CRM. You have that capability. You can do that in the menu system. In fact, from the menu system, meeting library, here's the download as CSV, and it would literally download everybody that's in your database. Now, we have a home buyer situation. I want to go into, want to make sure, let's say in this example, let's put Dave, who makes $100,000, and Diane, who makes $100,000. They both have two car payments, $1,000 for both, credit card payments minimum of $212, student loan of $322, and let's assume nothing further. They have good credit scores, at least 780, maybe 760, something higher. You can put other information in, including their email, their telephone for contact info. Loan scenario, we're just going to create a quick scenario here. I'll do a 500,000. I'll copy this among these two. I'll do conventional and FHA comparison just for fun. So here we have a 5% down. Let's do a 3.5. And there, let's see, 6.5%. 6.25 might be a little bit cheaper. Because of our factors are already loaded into our menu, we already have, as in they're saved in the manage fees section. These are already populated. Our MGIC numbers are tying out to, and FHA factors are already calculated. So all the work's done. But now that I've met with a customer, I shared with them, here's what a conventional loan would look like. Here's what an FHA loan would look like. Slightly higher in payment, however, less down needed. Less in fees, less down payment, but also overall closing costs are lower and cash at closing. But maybe we want to see what else they can afford. Notice way at the bottom we have front and back ratios. So let's go see. We're going to push those ratios up a little bit. Let's see where we can go. What's our maximum ratio here? At, let's say, 3.5%, we'll go FHA. And a 6.25% interest rate. Of course, we might get topped out by the maximum loan amount for that area based on FHA, but for argument's sake, we just keep moving up until the ratios are 46.99 and 56.99. And we still have room to go. So this is a section where I might say maximum price. And of course, this is the FHA, this is conventional, all with their pluses and minuses. So we have a scenario here for a customer. Now I want to send this or end the meeting with a customer. But in this case, I have a scenario. I have 4 scenarios. I want to end my meeting. I want to send them this data. I would always recommend go to the customer information page, the front page, and just stop there before you end the meeting. But remember to always end a meeting, because if you don't end the meeting, you'll be in perpetuity stuck in this meeting. By ending it, it saves it and it goes on from there. You can edit from this end meeting section. You can edit the name. You might say first meeting. You might give it an address for a home that they have and you put a scenario together for them. You might dictate or detail the type of loan program, 2-1 buy down. Maybe it was a scenario of a veteran. It can be anything here. These check boxes represent what pages will be printed in a PDF form. So you can continue, you can select all of these, which include amortization page, a debt snowball, loan comparison. We're covering those in other future videos. They'll be here shortly, but these are the staples that we put in here, which is the cover page, the monthly income page that you saw, the loan scenarios page, and the fees and costs. Well, I'd like those to be the saved ones, so I'm going to save and end. The system takes me directly to my meeting library. Now here is the saved meeting we just created with today's date, the editor, myself, last edited. You can sort these, by the way, but this is your library, and the essence of the library is for you to go return to it. You can sort by it. Eventually, your library will span 4 pages and pages, and it's much easier to search for a room name, a person, a name, a last name, depending on how you like to address these. But you can find anything based on the name, and it'll sort them based on a name, first name, last name, whatever you're using. But if you decided in this case that you wanted to resume a meeting, which would then give it a current date, today's date, it could be an old file from 10 years ago, but now you want it dated today. You'd hit resume, it would put in today's date, and now you can edit that file from 10 years ago. If you decided you wanted to print it, that's what this would represent. It's views as a PDF, and when you click on it, it will go and create the PDF, and here is the presentation based off of our cover page and the information I put in. Here's the monthly income pages we put in for Dave and Diane, as well as their costs, the graph included, and all corresponding wording for compliance. Here's the loan scenario. So here we have a loan scenario, all 3 scenarios, which included the notes. You'll see the notes appearing here. We've got the payments. We see total cash at closing, our ratios, APR, all of that is presented. And then finally, the fees and costs at closing. So all of those are represented here. Now what do? I'd like my customer to have a copy of this. Well, I'm going to easily download it right here. So I can click this button to download it to my computer, and I can rename it whatever I want at that stage. But in essence, I want my customer to have a copy of it. Or maybe you want to send just one page. Instead of just printing it, you could snip it. You could use the snipping tool as demonstrated, and you could literally snip just this entire page and then include it in an email. It's some practice that I see a lot doing, and makes it easy for the customer to see it in their email. Look at it, and now they're looking at some detail because maybe they're making a choice on the fly quickly at a home, and they just wanted to see what's my payment, what's my cash at closing. Returning back to the menu system, you also have the ability to edit it. So if I were to click on this button here, which is Edit Meeting, I would be able to go into the meeting. I'll demonstrate that. And I could play with it. I could move numbers around. I could change and add maybe a co-borrower. We could change the debts. Do whatever we need. Try different scenarios. And then when I go to exit the meeting, I will have the choice of exit, save and exit, or exit without saving. Maybe I don't want to save it. I just wanted to see what a change might look like for that customer, but I just don't want to have another version of it sitting in my library. So you can exit without saving as well. Unique feature to Let's Plan. I want to demonstrate this. We have a customer. We see it here. It's in English. But what if I wanted to print this in Spanish? We have this feature here. Now this feature is designed to present everything in Spanish. A customer who's watching you can actually click on the translator, and they could be watching it in Spanish while yours is in English. It's up to the viewer, and it's their web browser that when you click it, we translate it directly over, and it's built into Let's Plan to do this. But what if you wanted to send a copy of this to a customer? Now, I've already printed this in English, as you know. You can see it here. There it is in English. Here's the loan scenarios page. Well, what if I slid the Spanish slider? You'll notice everything's converting into Spanish. But now I want to create a copy to print and send to my customer. And by doing so, everything is now in Spanish. This was one of the most sought after or most requested items from the users of Let's Plan, loan officers, and so we were able to get that out here just several months ago. But here you have usability of Let's Plan. How do you start and stop a meeting? What do you do to end a meeting? Clearly, you'd hit the exit button, and then it would store it to your library, and you're ready to start a new one. Thank you so much. Have a great day.